It only takes one bold step to change everything. I'm going to tell you about my experiences living in Japan for the past 17, 18 years, and how it came to be and how you can apply that to your life as an INFP. What's up, Legend? Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I help people like us INFPs get over their struggles and live a life that is more aligned with their personality type. So I wanted to tell you about how I found freedom living in Japan. And you can do this in any country. It doesn't have to be Japan. And we're going to talk about how that works and why that comes about based off your personality type dynamics. But first, I just want to tell you a bit of my story. So I felt stuck. I felt stagnant. I needed to find something new for myself so that I could prove to myself who I could be, who I could become. I was not happy living in Michigan. I was living in my mom's basement, and I don't know, I was not thrilled with anything. I was depressed all the time. I was moping. I drowned myself with playing games, which I continue to play games. I like games, but it was not a healthy way of playing games, just all day, every day. I didn't like what I was, and I knew that I could be more. And so I knew that I had to do something different. Something had to change. And I got to that point where I just couldn't really wait any longer. So what had happened was my friend, also named Matt, who I graduated with in high school, this was first semester or so, I think, of community college. And he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, Matt, you want to go on this trip? It's called Japan Adventure." And I was like, "No, that's scary. Also, I don't know anything about Japan. I don't know any Japanese. I liked Spanish. I studied Spanish in high school, and I chickened out from going on the high school trip to Spain or Costa Rica or something like that because it was too far. It was too scary. Though many good things would have happened from it, I just couldn't muster the courage to do it. So I said no, and he kind of kept pushing me, so okay, fine, I signed up for it. He signed up as well, and I did the interview, and they could tell that I really wasn't too excited about it. It was, my heart wasn't in it. I was just yeah, it would be nice to go somewhere, And he got in, he got accepted, and then his grandfather passed away, and he was really close to his grandfather. So he dropped out, and then dun, 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 I showed up. I was the runner-up on the waiting list. And so I was like, okay, I guess I'll do it. When I started studying Japanese, I was freaking out because I couldn't learn how to count to 10 in Japanese. Though I had done it in Spanish, and it was fine. It was a possibility, but for some reason I was like, I'm never going to be able to do this. This language is too difficult. Everything about it is just too much of a struggle. It wasn't just the language, it was everything. There was the fear of living on the complete opposite side of the world. I had never done anything like that. It was a huge step. I had no friends there besides the couple guys that I became friends with just before the program, through the program. My girlfriend was in Michigan, and I was just there's no way I can do this. But I knew that I had to. There was just something in me that was you need to do this. Get out, do something different. Which is something that we'll talk about in the latter half of the video. So the time came, I did it, and I was on a 9-month study abroad program, delved deep into Japanese language and culture as an immersive course, as well as working at the same time, internship style. And I came back, and I was like, I need to go back to Japan. Everything just felt right in Japan. I felt like I could be more of myself. I felt that I didn't have to fit into a specific ESTJ mold, for example. Though I didn't know the words for it at that time. I didn't know the language around it or personality type. But it felt more free. I could just be me. I could be whoever I wanted. And despite standing out massively, as a white guy in Japan in 2003, living in the Kyoto area, my face and the face of the group that I was with was on the train wall. people would wave like, oh, it's a fort, or oh my gosh, wow, just freaking out. It was a very different world 21 years ago. But I felt like I could finally just be who I am, be who I wanted to be. I didn't have to deal with others' expectations, and there was always expectations from other people, but it didn't feel like it was an issue. I just felt like I can do whatever I want, in a good way, in a positive way. I can just exist, and I had to learn from the very start. It felt like I was in baby mode. Like I just had to learn how to navigate the world, to speak the language, to interact with people, how to eat, what not to eat. Just tons of experiences from the ground up. And I was able to remake my identity, remake myself because of that one big, bold step. And how this works within the INFP personality type is we have many different dynamics. Their cognitive functions are specifically what I'm going to be talking about. These are the ways that we understand the world, the way that we perceive, take in information, learn about the world, as well as the ways that we make decisions. Our main way of making decisions, the hero of our story, the main protagonist, our main focus, in many ways in life, is to make decisions that feel aligned with us, that feel congruent, harmonious inside. All of our parts are aligned and like, it feels good. Like this is a good choice. Because we know those experiences where we've made a decision or done something that is against one of our values or against our conscience, and it just like, it haunts us for the rest of eternity. It doesn't have to, but it does unless you know how to deal with it. And so this is our main hero, right? This is about self-identity. It's about who you are in the world. How do you show up? Who are you as a person? And who do you want to become? And acting in alignment with that. Extremely important for everybody, but for INFPs, like this is our main way of interfacing with the world. It's the main protagonist, the hero of our life's story. And if we don't honor that, then so many issues. And so having the freedom to be yourself allows you to be yourself. And I'm sure you're a good person, whether you believe you are or not. I know most of us believe that we are toxic, bad, broken, dangerous people, evil people. But I don't think we are. I think if you really check yourself, you're like, actually, no, I really care about people. I am a good person. Maybe I've done a couple of things, but everybody has. Everybody's made mistakes. We just really focus on those. And we don't have to. Let it go. We have that character. And we also have a couple other ones that are really important within this story. Is extroverted intuiting. This is our auxiliary function, what I call the explorer, as a character within our psyche that wants to explore new contexts, new patterns, learn about different cultures, put yourself into different situations, see what it's like. It wonders, what if? What are the possibilities here? How could I shake things up? How can I change things? That is the mentor of our story. It's extremely important. But it's easy to ignore in many ways because it's kind of scary. It's the one that's saying, if you want to, do the hero's journey, you need to leave the known and go into the unknown. And there's a lot of stuff that can happen in the unknown because we don't know what's going on there, right? But that is the mentor voice that the explorer brings to us and says, just do something. Just shake it up. Just change. Change something. See what happens. Bring some magic into life. And you will learn about your identity. And we also have our tertiary function, introverted sensing, what I call the guardian. This is about learning about the world through sensory experiences that are captured, collected, recalled, reviewed, ruminated over in order to stabilize our life and to understand what could happen in terms of looking back at our past and comparing it to what's going on now. This is that desire to maintain consistency and to not shake things up. This is me living in Michigan, not doing something different. Nothing against Michigan if you like Michigan, but it's everything's comfortable. Everything's safe here. You're provided for. Nothing to worry about except for the massive weight of not living into your destiny and who you could become as a person. But the guardian's always reminding us of it's okay. Just take another day or two or week or month or a year just relaxing on your couch, rejuvenating, waiting until you feel good, and then go out there and go get them, tiger. It's like that kind of voice within us. And there are benefits. There are times when it needs to be used and trusted and leaned into, but most of the time we need to listen to the explorer and look to the explorer for advice. What would you do in this situation? What should I do? What would Robin Williams have done in this situation? How would he change things? What could happen? That excited, curious energy is going to take you really far. And that was the voice for me that was saying, you need to go. You need to go to Japan. You have this opportunity here. Your whole life could change if you just took that step. So you need to do it. That was that voice. That was the explorer. I didn't know anything about personality type dynamics or anything like that at the time. And the guardian was saying, no, just stay here. It'll be okay. There'll be another opportunity, another chance. Maybe you should wait until you learn the entire Japanese language flawlessly and never make any mistakes before you go there. That's that kind of voice. And looking at it this way, you can see how that does not support you growing. Now, it's great for like maintaining a family, right? Taking care of others, bringing in nostalgia to reduce stress. That's great. But it depends on your goal, right? Listening to the explorer, taking chances, taking risks, perhaps, looking for opportunities over introverted sensing, over the guardian that says just wait, will help you learn who you are as a person. I learned so much about myself through doing that, through moving to Japan, that I never would have even thought of. And I have a vast imagination, as I'm sure you do too. But I never would have thought that my life would be what it is now. Having 2 kids, married, living in a house, doing hypnosis and coaching across the world, and a YouTube channel, like all of these things, all of these experiences that I've had in Japan, befriending celebrities, going to karaoke with professional singers, having life threats from the Yakuza, all of these things, and the different jobs I've had, living in Korea for a year as well, would not have happened if I didn't take that step. And it's the same with you. Like whatever it is that you're afraid of doing because it's going to shake the boat, can't promise you that it's going to change everything right away, but that might be the catalyst. That might be the quest that you need to take that's going to give you enough XP to level up and change your entire life. You might just be one quest away, but it's a matter of doing it, taking the action, and seeing what happens, as opposed to reflecting and ruminating and wondering what you need to do to prepare to get better or to reach that point where you will be okay. Because you'll find a way. The mentor, extroverted intuiting, for us is the way of navigating problems, of living into our identity, of finding a job that recognizes our worth, purpose. It's through bringing in idea-based problem solving and saying, well, what if there was a way to get to this point? What could I do? What would I do? What might I do? And navigating from there. So do you need to move to Japan in order to have this? No. After living in Japan for the 9 months, I went back to the States. And one thing that we did in Japan is we would buy these kigurumi, like they're like different character costumes, like kind of like pajama style material. Anyway, I had like a pink kangaroo and had some different ones, a tiger and stuff. So I used to wear those out to the club. There was not an event or anything like that. It was just, I'm standing out anyway. I might as well just like completely blast the door down and just be insanely visible because it's going to happen anyway. And it gives people some way of like breaking that conversation. Like, what are you doing? What are you wearing? Like, what is this? A lesson positively learned, right? So I actually did that in the States too, a little bit. At the local bar, the local club or whatever. That was one way of shaking things up. doing something different, completely outside of my comfort zone. It was not something like, this is an amazing idea, I feel completely fine with it. It was like, okay, let's see what happens. Let's, again, shake it up and see what could come out of it. I had a lot of very fun experiences doing that. I met a lot of great people in the States, and I met some assholes too. They're like, oh, did you lose a bet? You know, and kind of like teasing me about it, but who cares? They're boring, and I'd rather be fun than boring. So one thing you can do, just change your appearance, change what you're doing, wear something different, wear some clothes that stand out a bit, if you want, that express you. You know, you want to do something that expresses you as a person. I like Hawaiian shirts. I like the beach, so I wear them a lot. I wear sandals anytime that I can, because it like ties into my identity and it gives me the freedom of being different. I do suggest exploring, traveling, possibly moving to another place. It can still be within your same country, or even city, maybe. But like, the reason for doing this is because when you live somewhere else, you start to learn that the world is like broader. It's different. There are different people here. And those different people have different experiences and lives and different perspectives on the world. And you can kind of take in some of that in a positive way and use that to expand how you think about life and the world. And this broadens your idea database as well as your experiential database, your introverted sensing, the guardian, like the experiences that character can pull from and share with you and with your soul, with your identity, expands as you do more things, right? As you learn more about yourself and the world. And so that is a very positive benefit from traveling, from exploring, maybe even learning a new language, because with language comes a new perspective or a different perspective than you likely have with your native language. So I highly suggest that you go somewhere, go anywhere, not just through books, not just through movies and ideas, but like physically move somewhere and put yourself in that tangible space. And you will have to learn about yourself and what you like, what you don't like, and how you approach the world, how you highlight different facets of yourself. And then you can bring that into your next experiences and circumstances and try it out. Like, did I like this? Did I not like this? And do more of what you like. Because it's your choice. It's your choice how you present yourself. And you know, like in high school, right? You're typecasted into a specific role. When you finish high school, go into a new job, go to a new place, go to a new university or something like that, you have this new lease on how do you want to show up? How do you want to present yourself? And you can choose that within your identity and within your actions. You can do this anytime, but the environment kind of acts as a container in a lot of ways, right? So if you were to move to a new container, a new environment, and try something different, then you will learn new things about yourself and other people, strengthen your extroverted intuiting, your introverted sensing, and your introverted feeling, your soul, as you learn more about yourself and your identity. If you want to know more about INFP cognitive functions and the different characters that we have, you can click on this video over here to get a deeper dive into how these characters work.